All of you. And the planet.
So there I was trying to innocently watch the 1998 Godzilla movie at about 4 a.m. my time when Square Enix has the audacity to drop a brand new trailer. And this thing is massive, my dudes, just under 4 minutes. It's just a couple seconds shy of the E3 trailer, but still, it's the longest trailer we've had in a long time. And to be honest, I'm pretty upset that I clicked on it because I didn't think it was going to be an actual trailer for the game because it says it's just the Final Fantasy VII Remake theme song trailer. I thought it was just going to be a damn song, I guess at 4 a.m. that made sense to me. But this trailer is big, my dudes. It shows pretty much everything we haven't seen yet. We see Scarlet, Palmer, Reeve, Hojo, Red 13, some more Sephiroth, Genova. We see a shit ton of some Watchmen of Fate. We see the highway chasing. We see so much shit in this trailer, man. It's almost too much, if that makes any sense. We're desperate to see more from the game. We wanted to see some more, a lot more if we could. But there's almost too much in this trailer, honestly. It's crazy. But of course, we gotta break it down.
So, what did you want to talk about?
So the trailer surprisingly opens up with the flashback well scene in Nibelheim, the one we get whenever Cloud goes back to the 7th Heaven bar after the first Mako reactor and talks to Tifa. The conversation's nothing new here, it's everything you expect from the original game, him talking about wanting to leave Nibelheim, go to Midgar, join Soldier, just like Sephiroth. It's still pretty cool to see though, wasn't expecting to see it in a trailer.
So, what did you want to talk about?
When spring comes, I'm leaving town. I'm going to Midgar. I'm going to be a soldier. The best of the best. Like Sephiroth.
Following that, we have a scene with Sephiroth and Genova where she's locked in some sort of chamber, cage type thing. And obviously this has got to be something new for the remake because we never had any run-ins with Sephiroth, Genova, or Sephiroth and Genova in the original game's Midgar segment. At first I thought this might be some sort of updated version of the Mount Debel reactor because we have these pod things to the sides of the walkway. And of course Genova locked behind a chamber, that's how Sephiroth discovered her initially. The only issue with that theory at first is that Barrett and Aerith are there and they obviously weren't a part of the Nibelheim incident, but it could have just been Sephiroth messing with everybody or showing everybody what took place at the Mount Debel reactor. Of course, he has like illusion magic powers, can make people see things. However, later on in the trailer, we see Cloud run at Sephiroth and Sephiroth cuts the walkway they're on in half and then knocks Cloud away. So he's physically there. It's not just something they're seeing. Also, directly following that scene, we actually see that Professor Hojo is watching all of this take place on some security cameras, so maybe this is like an updated version of Genova being within the Shinra building. Maybe they moved things around, added some new stuff.
Tell me, is it really you?
Following that, we get a pretty cool aerial shot of the Shinra building, and inside we get our character reveal of Reeve, and he's pleading with President Shinra to not do something. It could be a number of things, and Heidegger calling him a coward.
Mr. President, I am asking you to reconsider. No begging.
Director Twisty.
The stench of the director's cowardice fills the room yet again.
Throwing up a quick spoiler warning for what I think he might be asking President Shinra to not do. It's a major moment in the original game. I'm almost certain it's him trying to prevent President Shinra from dropping the Sector 7 plate. It's definitely the most messed up thing we see Shinra do on screen in the original game. We've actually already seen them allude to this scene with the end of the Tokyo Game Show trailer. We see the aftermath of it, and even within this new trailer itself, we actually get to see Barrett, Tifa, and Cloud swinging away from the Sector 7 tower as it's exploding. Following this, we get a couple of character reveals, the first one being Scarlet, who's overseeing some sort of Mako supersaturation and materia science stuff going on. I don't know exactly what's happened. It's not something I recognize from the original game. But Scarlet is looking absolutely beautiful, and she seems to really be enjoying whatever's happening here. And I am pretty jealous of the Shinra soldier she's using as a footstool.
Mako supersaturation confirmed.
Engaging materia cooling to reduce temperature.
Next up, we get our Palmer character reveal, which isn't that big of a deal, but it is cool to see him. He looks like absolute shit, and I can't wait to hit him with a truck eventually. But he does mention running out of butter, which is of course alluding to the original game where he always talked about lard.
A man of my refined taste, running out of butter.
Following this, we actually get to see a little bit of the Honeybee Inn, which is kind of cool, but it seems like it's very different. It seems like it's a nightclub or something like that. You see a stage, dancers, these holograms and stuff like that. So I don't know exactly what to think of it. And then also we see Cloud actually get the makeover where it becomes a woman, which is a big worry for me because I don't know if we're going to actually get to go around Wall Market collecting the different ingredients and better ingredients to make him a better looking female so that Don Corneo is going to choose him. It seems like the cross-dressing scene is forced this time. And to kind of add on to that, whenever we get an outside shot of the Honeybee Inn, again, it looks like just a generic nightclub or something. You see men and women outside of it, which of course in the original game was not the case. It was only guys. It was a sleazy location. Following this, we actually get to see Cloud walking around Wall Market dressed up as the girl. You see that his walking animation is a little bit different, a little more feminine. And you guys know I've been wanting to see Wall Market for the longest time. Just generic gameplay or footage of somebody walking around Wall Market. So you already know I love this. Looks great. We then get the lineup scene where Don Corneo is trying to pick between Tifa, Aerith, and Cloud. And it's another scene that makes me wonder how much they've changed from Wall Market because Cloud talks during the scene. And obviously, if Cloud were to talk whenever Don Corneo is trying to pick the woman he wants, he would know that Cloud is a man. Which means he wouldn't take him to the back room or whatever, and we get the funny scene from the original game. So I don't know if that's even going to play out like it did in the original at all. So my worry here is that it seems like they've changed the Honeybee Inn, it seems like they've changed the whole cross-dressing scenario, and it seems like they've changed the Don Corneo segment of Wall Market. So that's a bit worrying, but I'm basing this all off of one trailer, but that's just what it looks like to me.
Today's right to be is...
Today's?
Pathetic. Huh?
Also, Tifa's side boob gotta point it out. We then get a scene with Ross where he talks about Avalanche kicking the Hornet's Nest and says that he wants a second dance, just the two of us, obviously talking to Cloud, wanting a one-on-one fight. And since he mentions a second dance, this is going to take place sometime after the first encounter with him, probably the scene that we got from the Tokyo Game Show trailer. And I gotta say, in this scene, he doesn't look as bad as he has in the past. The mullet doesn't look that weird from the front, but he is still pretty damn annoying. That's kind of the point.
Well, aren't we having a wonderful time kicking the hornet's nest?
We then finally get our Red 13 character reveal, and he looks great, he sounds great. He does kind of stand out a little bit compared to the other character models. It is kind of hard to make a character entirely out of hair. That's difficult to do. But other than that, he looks great. One thing I want to take note of, though, is there's no gameplay of Red 13 in this trailer. And it's something I've been saying for a long time. Either he wasn't going to be in the game at all, which is honestly kind of weird, but it was a possibility just based on what we had seen. Or if he is in the game, we're just introduced to him as a character, but he may not be playable, because he'd be coming into the game at the very, very end, more or less. And that kind of seems to be the case, man.
I am that which you see before you. Nothing more.
We then get the Cloud and Sephiroth scene that we talked about earlier. Nothing new here, but we do hear Hojo say the hypothesis being proven correct. Of course, Sephiroth being the strongest, the perfect being, defeating Cloud in this scenario. That's what he's talking about.
And thus is the hypothesis proven correct. I can only hope you will continue not to disappoint.
We then get a scene of Cloud, Tifa, and Barrett running from and fighting Heligunner, so it's our first time seeing him finally. But obviously there's some differences here. For one, they're fighting him outside. In the original game, we fought him inside the Shinra building, and it seems to be taking place sometime after the platefall. We've had some gameplay of Hunter Gunner in one of the previous trailers, but also in this trailer, so I think they've taken them, split them apart. We're not fighting them back to back like you did in the original game, and just made them separate boss fights. We then get our first look at Leviathan, and he looks absolutely badass, so we get another summon reveal. That's pretty cool. So we know of 4 in the base game. We know of Chocomog, Leviathan, Shiva, and Ifrit. I'm wondering if there's going to be any more. I feel like there's got to be at least 1 or 2 more maybe, even if they're just hidden summons. But I feel like because they're doing the big names, like Leviathan, Shiva, Ifrit, there's got to be a Bahamut in here somewhere, right? A few things I took note of from this scene, however, is Cloud using some sort of a gun or something against Heligunner. I don't know what it's for. Actually, looking closely, they all 3 appear to have one of these gun things on their back. I don't know what it's for. Something to do with this fight, though. We also see Barrett with a new weapon we haven't seen in any of the other trailers, and it doesn't really look like any of the weapons he had from the previous game, except for maybe the missing score, and only because of the open mouth thing it has. But the missing score was the strongest weapon in the original game, so I don't know if they would have you get that in this game, or repurpose it to be an earlier weapon or something. I don't know. We then see Cloud with a new weapon, which I'm pretty certain is the Mithril Saber. The design's slightly different from the original game, but also the materia slots match. We see 2 joined and 1 by itself. We then get some generic gameplay of Cloud walking through the Shinra building, but it does eventually get to the point where we see them in the bathroom, and him climbing up into the vent, which of course happened in the original game, where he eavesdrops over a meeting. We then get some very quick gameplay of Chocomog, or Choco and Moogle, whatever you want to call them, and we get to see him do his finishing attack whenever he leaves the battlefield, which is actually that picture we got a while back, where we see a bunch of different Chocobos. He just summons them or calls them or whatever, and they all just run at the enemy. We get some quick gameplay of Tifa, and she has a new ability in the bottom left with the triangle button, Whirling Uppercut, which means she probably has a new weapon somewhere in this trailer, but they're glove weapons. It's kind of hard for me to notice a new one. Whereas with Barrett and Cloud, they have big, noticeable weapons, so when there's a new gun or a new sword, it's very easy to see. Also, whenever they bring up the shortcuts menu, you see that she has True Strike and Overpower, which are 2 other abilities that I have not heard of. I only knew of Omni Strike, Rise and Fall, and Unbridled Strength. We also get some quick gameplay with my boy Barrett, but as you see in the bottom left, he has a new ability, Overrun. But more interesting, he's using a melee weapon, which is something I talked about in my demo breakdown that I assumed would be in this game as well. Not a surprise really, of course, in the original game he had quite a bit actually of melee weapons. But this got me to thinking, is it possible to put yourself in a position where you cannot defeat an enemy? Like, let's say there's some turrets up high that you need ranged weapons or magic to fight them at. What if you have no offensive magic equipped on either of your characters, like Barrett and Cloud? And let's say for this example that Barrett has a melee weapon equipped like the atomic scissors in this short clip we have. How do you fight a ranged enemy? Do you just die? What if there's like a boss that's you have to fight almost exclusively at range? Can you respec in the middle of combat? I don't know. Kind of interesting. Also, with this brief clip, we see Barrett fighting what I believe is the Vargid police enemy, or it could just be a different variant of the enemy type. And that's something I want to touch on really quickly that I love about the remake, is they have not strayed away from the weird-ass enemies that were in Final Fantasy VII. We didn't get a very quick clip of Sephiroth teleporting away, but if you pay attention to the background, they are in President Shinra's office, so this, of course, will be whenever he probably kills President Shinra, and it goes back to the image we got a couple months back. If you guys remember when we talked about this image a little while back when it first released, I said that I believe Sephiroth will physically be there in the office in this scene because, of course, he kills President Shinra, and the fact that he actually teleports away into like a misty smoke thing, I think that confirms that. Following that, we get some wild shit, my dude. Some sort of a fight with Jenova, which is obviously brand new. We never fought Jenova in the Midgar segment of the original game. But she looks monstrous, like something you'd see out of a horror game, or maybe something you'd see in like the sunken Guernica, but she's almost plant-like in the way that she's like taken over this area. Like she's everywhere, like she's grown up the walls and the pillars and everything. But look at this damn close-up. It's hard to get a good quality picture because it's so damn brief. You pretty much have to do it frame by frame, but look how haunting and horrifying Jenova looks. It doesn't even look like Jenova at all. It's awesome. I want to fight this thing. This thing is terrifying looking. We then get to see a reactor blow up. This is what I was talking about if you guys happen to watch my demo review. This takes place right after the first Mach reactor explosion, and it knocks out the power to the surrounding Sector 8 area and the surrounding Sector 1 area. We then actually get to see Cloud falling from the Sector 5 reactor down to the Sector 5 slums where he's going to meet Aerith. Something I took note of, however, in this scene is that whenever he's fallen, he reholsters his sword on his back, and he reaches for something behind his waist, and I'm wondering if it's not maybe like a parachute or something that's going to save him from the fall, because obviously in the original game, it never made sense that he fell from this height and lived. We then get the highway chase scene I mentioned earlier, which if that synopsis we got a while back for the story was correct, the game ends with us escaping Midgar, so they're essentially showing us pretty much more or less the end of the game here, which is what I was talking about when I said they showed us a little too much. And clearly we're being chased by a helicopter here, which is new in the original game. We were just running from motorcycle guys. So possibly Rufus here. I guess that's a character we haven't seen. This trailer didn't show us literally everything, but possibly Rufus chasing us maybe? I don't know. We then see Barrett and Cloud running through a tunnel away from the Sword Dancer enemy, or just at least a variant of that enemy type. And then we see Aerith and Red 13 fighting it, but it seems like it's a cutscene. So he might be one of those enemies that got like bumped up to the mini-boss status similar to the Sweeper enemies and also Eligor. We then get to seemingly the end of the highway chase scene, and we see the clip I played for you guys at the very beginning of the video, where there's just an insane amount of Watchmen of Fate surrounding the Shinra building. And I have no idea what to think of these things. I've been curious about them ever since we first seen them with the State of Play teaser trailer, but this just intrigues me even more, man. What are they? What is going on here? And at the very end of the trailer, we of course get the updated release date, which is what I told you guys was going to happen with the next trailer. They're going to put out another trailer at some point in time prior to the release of the game because they had to let everybody know that the release date has changed. And there you have it, my dudes, my breakdown of the Final Fantasy VII Remake theme song trailer. I think it's pretty safe to say this is the best trailer we've received so far for Final Fantasy VII Remake. This thing was loaded full of pretty much all new things. Since this is coming out so close to Type A Game Show, this is probably going to be the trailer they show. There probably won't be a new trailer there. Similar to, if you go back to Jump Festa in December, we got that trailer at the Game Awards a little before Jump Festa, and then Jump Festa was just an old trailer. So I don't know if we should be expecting a brand new trailer at Type A Game Show now. But holy hell, I love this damn trailer. I wish I could have done a reaction video for you guys, but again, it was like 4 in the morning. I didn't think it was going to be an actual trailer. I didn't want to do a fake reaction, obviously. If there ends up being another trailer, and there should be at least one more trailer, some sort of a launch trailer, whether that has new stuff in it or not, I have no idea. We will try to do a reaction video then, or to any other trailers they might show. Anyways, it's a pretty long video, so we need to wrap it up. Let me know in the comments below if I missed anything. It's very, very possible. It's a long trailer, almost 4 minutes, and it has so much in it. I can almost guarantee I have missed some stuff. Just, of course, let me know your thoughts below. What did you think of this trailer? Did it show too much or did it not show enough? And as always, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and want to stay updated with more Final Fantasy VII Remake content. Turn on my notifications. Follow me on Twitter at @dashingdavid. At my Discord. Links to my social networks are in the description and in the outro. Later, guys.
A touching reunion.